And this time we're going to be talking about homeopathy, even advancing your homeopathic knowledge, and even homeopathy that's a little bit beyond this realm that you can explore if you want to. So, one of the things I wanted to encourage you is if you have something happen that you feel is just too difficult for you to handle. For example, I have a lot of people that come to me with kids that have behavioral issues, or they might be on the spectrum, the autism spectrum, or they have just so many issues within their body that they need some assistance. I would recommend that you reach out to a homeopath and find a homeopath that meets with you either on Zoom or in person, and that you two mesh well together. You can actually interview some different ones and see, okay, is this one going to work for our situation? Especially if they're treating your whole family, that's really important. So there are lots of websites to find a good homeopath. So I recommend that you also maybe ask in your local area and see, is there a homeopath that people recommend that they enjoy going to? The other piece I wanted to recommend is really making sure that you're balancing your body and getting the best nutrition that you can, the lowest toxic load you can by eating organic food, clean water, getting lots of fresh sunshine. All those things are going to help you. I have found that the people that are, I want to say, cleaner, like, not as many toxins, they haven't had as many many types of medication or procedures, they usually respond a little bit better to homeopathy. And this doesn't mean that it's a lost cause if you have had a lot of medication or a lot of issues, but I'm just saying it's a little bit easier. So I always encourage people, please try to buy local as you can, supporting our farmers and ranchers and local families that have small businesses that are making products that might be a little bit more expensive, but might have less pesticides or toxins or whatever it might be. And then you're supporting your local economy. So I encourage you to do that. And I encourage, when your body is healthy and it's just a little bit out of balance, for example, if you do get a flu, you're going to usually move right back in and heal a little bit better, and homeopathy can help bring that to you. So I wanted to make some suggestions. I don't want you to take this course and forget about homeopathy. Buy a kit and leave it in the corner like we did. I encourage you every day, if you can commit to doing about 15 minutes of learning per day, your knowledge within 6 months will be amazing. And I bet you will be like me, and people will start coming to you and asking you, what should I get for this? Because they'll start noticing your kids are healthier, and when something does happen, or your family members, your pets, whatever, that you can take care of it right away with what you have. So I recommend that you do that so that you can help others around you, but take 15 minutes a day. That's not very long, right? So I try to listen to like a podcast or a video on homeopathy, if I can, one per day. It could be in the car, and even with my kids, a lot of times I just have them listen to it because a lot of it's science, right? Sometimes I have to turn it off because we're talking about really personal details or women's issues or something. But a lot of times I feel like I want them to have that education and to learn, because I want them to be able to, one, question what's going on in our medical system, and also to be skeptical. Healthy skepticism and questions are good, and also to know, wow, you know what, I heard that I can take I could take silica to help my sliver that's in my hand, and I don't have to dig it out with the tweezers, so that you're educating them and the people around you as well. So and then also I try to read just a little bit, even if it's just 2 pages a day. I have, if it's one of my books, where's one right here, I actually have one right by my bed, and I try to read at least, like I said, even just 2 pages a day. If you can get more, you're going to even learn more, okay? Just right before I go to sleep. So as I'm calming myself down, we're getting ready for bed, I can read a page or two, and you will be surprised at all of a sudden you're going to be speaking these Latin names like, you know, you were saying your best friend's name. So anyway, and I did want to recommend, there's lots of wonderful homeopaths out there or groups to follow. Here are some that I like to follow, if it be through podcasts or whatever. So I do love, I think I mentioned Joette Calabrese. She's got some great information, outstanding blogs and videos. She actually does a Facebook Live on Monday nights that you can join and learn a lot of information. You can do searches on her Facebook group for all the videos that she's done. She's even done videos on different remedies. If you go back far enough, you can find a whole video just on, let's say, on um, uh, cocculus or whatever it might be. Another one that I really enjoy is Melissa Crenshaw. She's out of North Carolina. She's a Christian homeopath that does a lot of videos and podcasts and has some great information and even classes. Christina Villacorta, she is in England, and she also works somewhat with the Banerjee, so she does some Banerjee protocols. Sue Meyer is great. I think she's out of, I think it might be Minnesota, and she's a little more classical, but I do love her way of thinking and just her way of teaching. And then Paula Brown, like I mentioned before, she is a strong advocate for supporting homeopathy and actually going to Congress and making sure that we still have the right to use homeopathy, as well as she has those children's materials curriculum that is amazing for homeopathy. And I think she's also doing one on like homesteading types of options. The Center for Homeopathic Education is a great one. They're out of England. There's also a group called Homeopathy 24/7 that you can reach anytime. They have Facebook groups, or a Facebook group, and they have homeopathic consultation, and they started that during COVID so that people could contact them. They have a homeopath on staff and answering calls at any time, so that you can get help in the middle of the night, because I will tell you, a lot of the times when something happens, other people may not be awake to help you, right? Or if they're in England, you know that they're there 24/7, that you should be able to get a hold of someone. So you may want to research and find other groups. Like I said, there are so many different Facebook groups. There is a homeopath on Facebook that does Banerjee protocols that I think he may be from India or something like that. But just seeing that information that everybody's talking about, and then all of a sudden, once you're just observing and learning, as you're going through your Facebook or whatever it might be, you can say, oh wow, okay, I recognize that one. Oh, okay, I didn't realize this remedy did this, or with this issue you could use this remedy, or whatever it might be. So it's always, we're never going to stop learning, right? And then I would also encourage you to take a look at your finances and see how homeopathy can help decrease your need for pharmaceuticals, for going to even to the vet. Maybe you can keep your dog a little bit healthier, your cat, through this. The other thing I was going to say is there are some other options if you wanted to dive deeper. For example, there's a whole study on just miasms, which is what you're predisposed, what has come through your genetics, that might be interesting for you. The other one I wanted to mention is homeoprophylaxis, which actually means like preventing an illness. But you can actually there are homeoprophylaxis that you can use instead of vaccinations. And I mention this because there's a lot of families that are looking at options besides just doing the routine schedule. This is not something that I do, so this is where you would need to find somebody who does this. I recommend looking into Dr. Isaac Golden. He did a lot of research. I believe he's out of Australia. He did a lot of research on, he was looking within their schedule of what to do, so you can actually get the disease in a homeopathic form and actually educate your body to be able to fight that off easier. So they find that they've actually done studies, and it's about 90% effective, which vaccines are probably 90 something effective. So this is another option where you're not necessarily going to get all the other ingredients, let's say, that are in vaccines. So again, your health is your wealth. So I encourage you to take time to learn this. And if you're like me, it's just going to open up a whole new world for you. I've had so many people say, I wish I would have just started sooner. I wish I would have known about this sooner. I have never met anyone that said, oh gosh, I wish I would have waited to learn about homeopathy. But I have received so many like thank you notes and emails and people saying, you know what, thank you so much for teaching me this. It has made such difference in my life. I know there was one family that, actually two different families that after they took my class, one, she was able to make it so she doesn't need any medication for her asthma. She can now treat and doesn't have issues with asthma, and she does a lot of climbing in the mountains and hiking at high elevation, which makes it even more challenging. She's done a lot of 14ers. And then there was another lady that she was able to help her son with asthma, and he used to have to go to the hospital, and now she's gotten to the point that she doesn't have to take him to the hospital. So whatever your concerns are, you can go ahead and research everything you can about that issue. Like I said, if it was asthma or if it was autism or whatever it might be, there are homeopaths that actually specialize in treating autism and have great success in it. There are also some homeopaths in some areas that can help with clearing of certain medications. For example, if you had a medication and an antibiotic and you've never been the same since that medication, or you've been on, let's say, hormonal pills or whatever it might be, you can actually work with a homeopath. I wouldn't recommend doing this on your own, but work with a homeopath and clear some of those issues and clear that medication from your body, even certain jabs. So I just want to let you know that there is a whole world out there that can help you. Was there anything else? So again, commit to learning 15 minutes a day. So my action item for you is I want you to write down at least three. Let's do 3 different items that you can do. If it be, I will commit to 15 minutes a day listening to a podcast, or, 5 minutes a day reading on homeopathy, or I'm going to plan to get this kit and this book within the next 6 months. The other tip I wanted to give you is a lot of times I'll ask for homeopathy books or materials for birthdays or Mother's Day. I got one of my big books that I love and use all the time. Could you just get this for Mother's Day instead of getting me something that may not be so useful? I can actually use this, and I see so many people that I've been able to help, and I know you'll be the same, that you will appreciate something that is, I either appreciate something that's really homemade or something that is going to be so useful that I can dig into it and read it, or somehow be able to implement it into my life. So I hope that you have a chance to stay with our school and that you will be able to post questions if you want. I will continue to try to do blogs that relate to this and other topics. But again, continue building your notebook, building your library, building your knowledge base, and building those around you, other family members, extended. Maybe you and your sister-in-law can help each other and learn together, because having that support is going to make all the difference. More and more people are coming to homeopathy and natural medicine because they're realizing they don't want to continue the issues that they've seen with medical or pharmaceutical options. So again, health is your wealth. This is a great investment. I'm so proud of you for getting through this course, and hopefully you can connect with me and send me a message and let me know that you enjoyed this or what you would encourage that I look at for next time. Thank you.